You had two disagreements with me.
Ooh.
We'll start with Brian not wanting a woman with a high body count and men can. So can you better state your disagreement?
Okay. I just don't really see why it matters between different genders, to be completely honest. Well, like, what's your argument as to why men can have higher body counts
I don't think
versus women?
Well, I don't think I've actually argued that.
Okay.
Is the thing. I think there are differences. I think that here's what I've said, right? And I don't know if this is where you have a disagreement with me on. I think it's fine for a guy who has a high body count to desire or partner with a woman who has a low body count. I don't object to that at all. Now, women are if women have an objection to dating a man with a high body count, that's totally fine. I don't have a double standard there, in the same way that I think it's optimal for men to date women with low body counts.
Okay. I would agree with those things.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, so oftentimes, my argument, and I'm not in favor of male promiscuity, but my argument is because I don't think, something I got pushback on is, I'll argue, even if a guy has a high body count, which I'm not advocating for, it's always going to be the most optimal choice to date a woman who does not have a promiscuous past. Everybody, when it comes to dating, wants to get the best partner that they can get. And it occurs to me, for a lot of valid reasons, that a woman who doesn't have a promiscuous past, isn't currently promiscuous, has a low body count, is, at least within that metric alone, will make for a more optimum partner than a woman who is promiscuous, was promiscuous, or has a high body count.
I would agree with you on most of those things. Like, I think all of those things. I think just a lot of guys have a problem with girls having a higher body count.
Oh, so it's like a hypocrisy thing. So
yeah,
you have a high body count.
It's like you can have a high body count, but why can't girls then?
Oh, they
can.
Like,
where's the double standard there?
They can, but just because you're a man.
I get that it's more ideal, though, for women to have lower.
I don't necessarily think it makes you a hypocrite as a man. Like, nobody's obliged to date anybody. So I don't think a man with a high body count is obliged to, they have to only date women with high body counts. If he can find a girl with a low body count and she wants to date him and he wants to date her, well, that's two consenting individuals. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it might, if he's like, there could be some degree of hypocrisy insofar as, I think he's told a man with a high body count would be perfectly entitled to prefer a woman and date a woman with a low body count. Now, if he's like, women with high body counts, and he's like, this is an open judgment, women with high body counts are fucking trash, that would be hypocritical. But I don't think it's hypocritical for you to have a high body count and realize that you don't want to date somebody with a high body count.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Preferences are your preferences. Everybody's entitled to their own thing.
Sure.
I just feel like it's more acceptable for guys to have a higher one.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
And then expect for women to not at all. However, women can also, I mean, most women I feel like would agree with that and know that. But, I mean, women can also lie about it all the time, and how are you going to know, you know? I feel like women are always lying about their body count. What is the difference, really?
Wait,
you could be like a girl could be like, I have a body count of 3, and really she's had 20, but how are you going to know? So what is the matter? Like, why?
With lying?
Does it matter that much? I'm not saying you should lie, but I'm just saying that's like a lot of what people do, because people know that it matters.
Sure.
I think body count matters. I think women
clearly
just should have lower body counts. That's just the biological, natural thing.
Yes.
And I remember
That's awesome.
I told you this last time. I think men biologically are meant to biologically, men are meant to create as many of their offsprings as possible, so it would make sense for them to have a higher body count, because a woman can only have one child at a time.
Fishism.
Or
Yeah, but-
twins, okay, however you want to say it. But she can't get pregnant with 100 kids at a time. But he can get 100 girls pregnant. And biologically...
Can he manifest a higher body count? Or are we talking about like times that you've had intercourse? Is that what we're talking about?
No, like you having sex.
So that's what we're talking about with body count?
Yes.
Amount of times that you've had sex. Okay.
Yes. So men are meant to do that. Men are meant to create as many offspring as possible and just drop their seed as much as possible. You can't do that with one woman, so it makes sense why you have a higher body count. Women are meant to take care of kids and nurture kids and take care of the household. You're supposed to do that biologically. So it would make sense why women are meant to have lower body counts and why men are meant to have higher body counts.
Completely
That's what I
agree
think.
with you.
Okay. So wait, what was the disagreement though? You said Brian not wanting a woman with a high body count and men can't.
I just think, I mean, you kind of already hit it. Just like you can't be hypocritical, in my opinion. Like I
there's
just
a
think
joke in
some
there somewhere,
guys
but
end up being hypocritical about it. Just don't be.
Okay. I do think there are differences though. Like I think promiscuity has a different impact on men and women.
Okay.
I think they're similar, but it seems to be more pronounced in women than in men. Like a guy, I don't think the brain damage, not the brain damage,
I'd agree with that.
the emotional damage it does is different.
Nickelodeon donated
Yo,
$200.
Nickelodeon, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
We talk
Thank you,
men
thank
in
you.
general, but women are generally interested in top status men. They constantly have women throwing themselves at them. Do you think the same logic applies to him, or can he be more picky?
Do you think the same logic applies to him, or can he be more picky?
No.
Wait.
Biologically, he has achieved what he's supposed to do, which
Constantly
is
have women throwing themselves at them.
create as much as possible. So, see, top percent of men create as much as possible, have higher body counts. It just makes sense. I don't know.
I will say, like a guy I think it's impressive in the sense that any woman has the capacity to be a slut, but very few men have the capacity to be a slut. Any woman could be a slut. She could be obese, she could be extremely unattractive, any woman. But
Yeah.
typically, in order for, like a woman could be unattractive and a slut, it's pretty hard for an unattractive guy to be a slut.
That's what we're saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
And that's why there's a difference there.
Top percent of men have higher body counts, and that's just natural. It's normal. It's just biologically how things are and how it's always been.
We'll put it this way. It's very easy to be a female slut. It's very hard to be a male slut.